When people talk about Mount Everest, they talk about summits, they talk about records, they talk about personal triumph, they talk about standing on the roof of the world. What they rarely talk about are the people who made that moment possible, the Sherpas. Long before a single climber takes their first step toward the summit, Sherpas are already on the mountain. They fix ropes through deadly ice falls. They carry oxygen bottles heavier than their own bodies. They set up camps in places where the human body is already breaking down. They do this repeatedly, not once. This is their job. For foreign climbers, Everest is a once-in-a-lifetime dream. For Sherpas, it is seasonal work. Each ascent is not about glory, but responsibility. If a rope is not fixed correctly, someone else may die. If supplies are delayed, climbers above may not survive the night. Sherpas carry the burden of other people's ambitions, often at the cost of their own lives. The most dangerous place on Everest is not the summit. It is the Khumbu Icefall, a constantly shifting maze of collapsing ice towers and deep crevices. The route changes daily. No fixed safety lasts. Sherpas cross it dozens of times each season. Clients cross it once. Statistics tell a brutal story. Sherpas face far higher risk than the climbers they support. When disasters happen, it is usually Sherpas who are there first. They search through avalanches, they retrieve bodies, they attempt rescues at altitudes where survival is already uncertain. They do this to succeed. Often, they do not, and sometimes they die trying to save others. In 2014, an avalanche in the Khumbu Icefall killed 16 Sherpas. It was one of the deadliest days in Everest's history. They were not chasing a summit. They were fixing the route, making it safer for others. Their deaths briefly stopped the climbing season. Then, eventually, Everest reopened. Why do Sherpas keep returning to the mountain? The answer is not simple. For many families, guiding is one of the few ways to earn enough money for education, healthcare, and stability. One season on Everest can equal years of income elsewhere. The risk is understood. The alternative is poverty. There's also pride. Sherpas are not merely porters. They are elite mountaineers. Many have summited Everest dozens of times. They know the mountain better than anyone else alive. Yet their names are rarely remembered. Records list clients. Sherpas become footnotes. On summit day, while climbers struggle upward, Sherpas move ahead, breaking trail, checking ropes, managing oxygen. If a climber collapses, a Sherpa often stays behind. This means giving up their own summit. Sometimes it means giving up their life. The death zone doesn't care who you are, but Sherpas spend more time there than anyone else. More exposure means more risk: frostbite, altitude sickness, cerebral edema, sudden collapse. They absorb danger so others can have a chance at success. When foreign climbers die on Everest, it becomes international news. When a Sherpa dies, it is often a statistic, a name mentioned briefly, a family left behind, a village that loses its provider. In recent years, Sherpas have begun demanding better conditions, higher pay, better insurance, more respect. Some progress has been made, but the imbalance remains. The mountain's risks are not shared equally. Everest exists today as a commercial enterprise. Summits are sold, dreams are packaged, and Sherpas are the foundation that holds it all together. Without them, Everest would close overnight. Every rope you see near the summit was placed by Sherpa hands. Every ladder over a crevice was carried there by Sherpa strength. Every safe passage through chaos was earned through Sherpa sacrifice. So when you see a summit photo, flags waving, arms raised in victory, remember what is outside the frame: the risk absorbed, the danger repeated, the lives lost quietly. The Sherpas who die on Everest are not chasing fame. They are not trying to prove anything to the world. They are working. They are doing a job that places their bodies again and again in the most dangerous parts of the mountain, so others can experience a moment of triumph. When a Sherpa does not return home, there is no global headline. There is a quiet village, a family waiting, children who grow up knowing their father through stories and photographs. Compensation can never replace a life. Money does not raise children. Money does not erase absence. And yet, season after season, Sherpas return, because Everest is not just a mountain to them. It is survival. It is responsibility. It is the only path many families have towards education, healthcare, and a future beyond poverty. The risk is understood. The alternative is accepted. Modern Everest is built on this acceptance. Commercial expeditions depend on Sherpa labor to function. Without them, ropes would not be fixed, camps would not exist, oxygen would not reach the summit. The entire system collapses without Sherpas. So when we celebrate a summit, we must ask an uncomfortable question. Who carried that success upward? Who crossed the icefall first? Who stayed behind when someone collapsed? And who paid the price? The Sherpas who die on Everest do not die for the mountain. They die so others can reach the top. And until that truth is fully acknowledged, every victory on Everest carries a shadow shaped like sacrifice. Because the highest cost on Mount Everest is not paid at the summit, it is paid long before, by the people whose names the world rarely remembers, but whose lives made the climb possible.